Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Talk English Now. I'm Sarah, and today I want to talk with you about something that every English learner struggles with. How to actually learn the kind of English people really use every day. Not the textbook kind, not the complicated academic English, but the natural, real-life English that helps you sound confident and fluent when you talk to people. Before starting, I just want to let you know that we upload new English learning videos every single day, so make sure to subscribe and keep learning with us. Now, let's begin. Have you ever felt like there's just too much English out there? You open YouTube and there are thousands of lessons. You search online and there are websites, podcasts, grammar rules, idioms, phrasal verbs, and suddenly you feel lost. You don't even know where to begin. You might think, do I start with grammar or vocabulary or listening, or maybe I should just watch TV shows? The truth is, all of that advice is good, but it can also make you feel completely overwhelmed, and that's exactly what I want to fix today. I'll help you understand where to begin, how to focus on what actually matters, and how to build real, everyday English that makes you sound natural. Let's start with something simple. Imagine you wake up in the morning and you meet your neighbor. You smile and say, "Good morning, how are you?" That's simple, right? But now imagine they reply, "I'm good, thanks. Just heading out for a quick run." How about you? Do you feel comfortable answering naturally? Or do you pause for a second trying to think of the right words? That small pause is what separates learning English from living English. My goal today is to help you move from learning English to living it, to make English part of your daily rhythm, your thinking, your habits, your emotions. So first, we need to understand one big idea. English isn't something you memorize. It's something you use. You can know 1,000 words. But if you never use them in daily life, they stay stuck in your brain like closed books. You need to open them through speaking, listening, and connecting those words to real situations. Think about the phrase, "take your time." If you just learn it as vocabulary, it means nothing. But when you use it in real life, for example, when your friend is rushing to finish something and you say, "Hey, take your time," now that phrase becomes real. You connect it to emotion, kindness, and tone. That's when English becomes alive. When you start learning everyday English, begin with situations that actually happen in your life. Don't start with business emails if you don't write business emails. Don't start with medical English if you're not a doctor. Begin with what you truly live. Start with the conversations you have every day. At home, at work, at the store, in a cafe, on your phone, online. This is how you build English that's real. For example, think of how many times you say thank you in a day. Now practice saying it differently. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your help. I really appreciate it. These small variations make your English natural and flexible. Another thing to remember is you don't need to learn everything. That's the biggest trap. There's too much English in the world, and trying to learn all of it will only slow you down. Instead, think like this: learn less, but use it more. If you learn 10 new phrases this week, try to use them again and again until they feel comfortable. Use them when texting friends, when talking to yourself in English, or when shadowing a video like this one. The secret is repetition, but meaningful repetition, not boring drilling. You don't need to study for hours. You need to connect what you learn to what you feel, say, and hear. Let's practice together right now. I'll say some natural, everyday English, and you can repeat after me. Not just with your mouth, but with your feeling too. Ready? "Hey, how's it going?" Not "bad, thanks." Long time no see. What have you been up to? Sounds good to me. These are simple, but they're exactly what native speakers say every day. Practice them with your voice, your rhythm, and your tone. English isn't only about words, it's about sound, connection, and flow. When you practice this way, you're not just studying, you're training your brain to speak naturally. Many learners ask me, Sarah, should I focus on grammar or vocabulary first? And I always say, focus on people first. Grammar is important, but you don't need perfect grammar to communicate. Think of children learning their first language. They make mistakes all the time, and still they communicate. The more you use English in daily life, the more grammar becomes natural. So don't wait to be perfect. Just start talking, even if it's simple. Even if you only know basic phrases like I like this or I don't understand, that's your beginning. Every fluent speaker once started there. You might also feel shy or afraid to speak because you think others will judge your accent or mistakes. But remember, mistakes are proof that you're trying. Every time you make a mistake, you're one step closer to fluency. Nobody becomes fluent by staying silent. Fluency is built through sound, through the courage to speak, to listen, and to try again. So next time you're scared to say something, tell yourself, I'm learning. I'm getting better every time. English isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. If you're enjoying this lesson, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more daily English practice. It really helps us grow and keeps these lessons free for everyone who's learning just like you. All right, let's continue. Now let's talk about where to actually begin. If I were starting to learn English today, I wouldn't open a grammar book first. I'd start by listening, really listening, to how people speak in daily life. Watch short clips, listen to podcasts, repeat what you hear, and notice the patterns. You'll realize that native speakers use simple structures again and again. For example, I'm going to, I want to, I have to. These three little patterns are everywhere. I'm going to make dinner. I want to go outside. I have to finish this. Once you master patterns like these, you can build hundreds of sentences without stress. When you listen, don't just focus on understanding every word. Focus on the emotion, the rhythm, and the tone. Notice how people say things differently depending on how they feel. I'm fine sounds different from I'm fine, right? One shows energy, the other shows sadness. These little differences make your English human. Try to feel what you're hearing, and then copy that emotion when you speak. That's what we call shadowing, listening and repeating with feeling, not just with sound. It's one of the most powerful techniques to learn authentic English. Another key idea is connection. The best English you'll ever learn is the one you use to connect with others. If you study words like sophisticated or meticulous, but never use them in your life, they'll fade away. But if you learn words like tired, hungry, excited, busy, words you use every day, they stay. So don't chase rare vocabulary, chase useful vocabulary. Focus on words that help you talk about your real life, your thoughts, your feelings, your world. And yes, it's okay to speak simply. Simple English is powerful. Many advanced speakers sound natural not because they know big words, but because they know how to use small words naturally. Instead of, I am experiencing fatigue, just say I'm tired. Instead of I am currently occupied, just say I'm busy. Natural English is simple, honest, and clear. The more direct you are, the more confident you sound. When you hear English around you, in songs, videos, movies, don't just listen passively. Try to pause, repeat, and imagine yourself in that situation. For example, If you hear someone say, "Can I get a coffee, please?" Imagine yourself saying that in a cafe. Feel the moment, hear the sound, repeat it naturally. That's how you train your brain to think in English, by connecting learning with living. Learning English doesn't have to be stressful. It's a daily habit, not a race. Just a few minutes every day, repeating, listening, noticing, can change everything. The goal is not to study harder, but to connect deeper, to feel comfortable with English in your daily life. And that's what we'll keep building together, step by step. So let's take this a little deeper. When you hear people say, "Learn English naturally," what does that really mean? It means learning English the same way you learned your first language, by listening, noticing, repeating, and connecting it to feelings and daily life. When you were a child, you didn't study grammar books to speak your native language. You listened to your parents, your friends, the people around you, and you slowly started repeating. You made mistakes, but those mistakes didn't stop you. You learned because you were curious, not because you were afraid. That's exactly the mindset you need for English. Curiosity instead of fear. Curiosity keeps you moving forward. Fear stops you from even starting. You don't need to know everything to begin. You just need one sentence, one thought, one sound. For example, start by saying what you're doing. I'm making breakfast. I'm washing the dishes. I'm checking my phone. These are small sentences, but they are powerful because they connect English to your life. Every time you describe what you're doing, your brain builds a bridge between action and language. That's how fluency grows, one small bridge at a time. When I was teaching English to my students in person, I noticed something interesting. The ones who made progress fastest were not the ones who studied the most hours, but the ones who used English the most moments. They turned everything into practice. They would speak to themselves quietly, think in English, or describe their surroundings in English. They made English their daily companion. That's the real secret to everyday English, to make it part of your day, not a subject you study and forget. So here's a fun little challenge for you. After watching this video, try to describe your day in English from morning to night. Don't worry about grammar or perfect words, just speak freely. I woke up. I brushed my teeth. I made coffee. I checked my messages. I went outside. You'll be surprised how much you can already say. The more you describe, the more your brain learns to connect ideas quickly. It's like exercising your speaking muscles. The more you move them, the stronger they get. Many learners ask, "Sarah, how do I sound more natural when I speak?" The answer is, listen to real English and copy its rhythm. Native speakers connect words together. They don't speak word by word like robots. For example, instead of saying, "What are you doing?" they say, "What you doing?" Instead of "I don't know," they say, "I don't know." Instead of "I am going to," they say, "I'm gonna." You don't need to speak exactly like that, but you should understand how these patterns sound. That's what real communication sounds like. Try to shadow them. Repeat them right after hearing them. Say it with the same rhythm. This helps your mouth, your ears, and your brain work together. Now let's practice a few. Repeat after me, slowly and naturally. What you doing? I don't know. I'm gonna take a break. Let me see. Give me a second, see how it flows? The words connect like water. English is a language of rhythm. If you can catch the rhythm, you can catch the meaning faster, and people will understand you more easily too. But I know, sometimes you listen to fast English and think, "I can't understand anything." That's okay. Nobody understands fast English at the beginning. When native speakers talk quickly, it's not because they use different words. It's because they connect everything. To train your ears, start slow. Listen to short, clear English, like this lesson, and repeat. Then slowly increase the speed. Over time, your brain starts catching phrases instead of single words. That's when you realize you're improving. One more tip that really works. Focus on useful chunks of English, not single words. For example, instead of learning the word beautiful, learn the whole phrase that's so beautiful. Instead of hungry, learn I'm really hungry right now. Because when you think in phrases, you speak faster. You don't have to stop and build a sentence from zero each time. You just pull out a ready-made chunk and say it naturally. This is what native speakers do all the time. They don't think of grammar. They think in groups of words. Here's a small exercise you can do today. Take one short phrase like I don't feel like it. Say it 5 different times in your day. Morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you remember. You'll notice it becomes automatic. Tomorrow, take another phrase. Do this every day for 1 week, and you'll already have 7 powerful phrases that roll off your tongue naturally. That's how real fluency starts, not from memorizing lists, but from living phrases. Let's talk about another common mistake. Learners try to translate everything from their native language into English. That's natural, but it slows you down. For example, if you think in your language first, then translate, then speak, there's a delay. You sound like you're loading your words. But when you start thinking in English directly, your words flow faster. The key is to stop focusing on the meaning of every word and start focusing on the picture or situation behind it. If you see rain outside, don't think rain in your language and then translate. Just think it's raining. That's how your brain slowly switches to English thinking. You can also train this with small daily habits. For example, when you see your phone, think I need to charge it. When you see your shoes, think I should clean them. When you feel tired, think I need some rest. Small moments like these teach your brain to create English thoughts automatically. No grammar books needed, just life plus awareness. Also, remember to enjoy the process. English is not a test. It's a tool for connection. You're learning a new way to express who you are. You'll meet people from different countries, understand movies, read stories, make friends online, all through English. That's amazing, isn't it? So never see it as a burden. See it as a door opening to new worlds. Every single phrase you learn is a key that unlocks another door. Now, let's talk about something important. Listening. Listening is the heart of learning. You can't speak what you haven't heard. So the more you listen, the more natural English becomes in your mind. But you must listen actively. Active listening means you don't just let the words pass, you pay attention to how they sound, what emotions they carry, and how they connect. For example, listen to how people say, really? Sometimes it's surprise, really? Sometimes it's disbelief, really? Sometimes it's boredom, really? Same word, different feeling. Practice hearing these differences, and your understanding will explode. A great way to practice listening is to choose one short clip or podcast and listen to it multiple times. The first time, just relax and get the general meaning. The second time, focus on new words or phrases. The third time, repeat out loud with the same rhythm. Each time you notice something new. This is how you train your ears to catch natural English without subtitles. Slow, repeated listening beats long, distracted listening every time. Another powerful trick is journaling, but in spoken form. Instead of writing your thoughts in English, record your voice. Talk about your day, your plans, your feelings. At first, it might feel strange, but soon it becomes natural. This builds speaking confidence faster than anything else. And you can even listen to your recordings later to hear your progress. You'll start to notice your pronunciation improving, your pauses disappearing, and your voice becoming clearer. That's a wonderful feeling. Here's a short practice we can do right now. I'll ask a question and you answer out loud. Don't worry about mistakes. Ready? What did you do yesterday? Where did you go? What are you going to do tomorrow? Good! Now one more. How are you feeling today? Perfect. This kind of mini speaking practice trains your brain to respond in English automatically. The more you do it, the less you hesitate. And here's something funny about English. Sometimes you don't need to say much at all. Native speakers love short responses. When someone says thank you, you can say no problem, or sure, or even just any time. When someone says see you, you can say take care. These short replies sound friendly and natural. You don't need long sentences to sound fluent, you just need confidence in short ones. One last idea before we move on. Be patient with yourself. Fluency takes time. It's like growing a plant. You can't rush it, but if you water it daily with small habits, it grows stronger every day. If you miss a day, it's okay. Just come back. What matters is consistency. 10 minutes a day is better than 2 hours once a week. Make English a gentle daily habit, not a heavy weekend task. You're doing great already, and we're just getting started. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into how to build your English naturally, not through hard study, but through smart, meaningful practice that actually fits your life. Stay with me. Now that we've talked about making English part of your life, let's go one step further. How to actually enjoy the process. So many learners think learning English means memorizing endless rules, but that's not true. You can learn English by living in it, by laughing, listening, talking, and thinking in it. The more emotion you bring into your learning, the faster your brain remembers. Have you noticed how you can easily remember the lyrics of a song you love, even years later? That's because emotion locks memory. So if you bring joy, curiosity, and even a bit of humor into your practice, you'll remember English 10 times faster. Let's imagine you're watching a funny English video or listening to a story. Instead of just hearing it once and forgetting it, pause after something funny or interesting. Repeat the line out loud. Feel the rhythm. Smile when you say it. When you do that, your brain tells itself, this is important. That's how you learn English with emotion, not boredom. The truth is, language isn't just about communication. It's about feeling alive in another language. So let's make your English feel alive. Here's something that will help you focus your learning. There are 3 levels of English you should think about: survival English, daily English, and emotional English. Survival English is what you need to handle basic situations, asking for directions, buying food, introducing yourself. Daily English is what you use to connect with people, chatting about your day, your feelings, your plans. And emotional English is what makes you sound human, showing care, humor, surprise, or comfort. Many learners stop at the survival level. They can order a coffee but can't continue a conversation about their weekend. That's why I want you to grow into daily and emotional English. That's where fluency really begins. For example, imagine your friend tells you, "I had a long day." You could just say, "Oh, okay." But if you use emotional English, you might say, "Yeah, I can imagine. You must be exhausted." See the difference? You're not only speaking English, you're connecting. That's what native speakers do all the time. They don't just exchange information, they exchange feelings. So, whenever you learn a new word or phrase, think about how it feels, not just what it means. One thing that often blocks learners from improving is fear. Fear of sounding wrong, fear of forgetting, fear of being judged. But English doesn't punish you, it welcomes you. Every mistake you make is just proof that you're trying. I've seen many students who knew a lot of grammar but stayed silent because of fear. And I've seen others who spoke imperfectly but made friends and improved quickly. The difference wasn't their vocabulary, it was their courage. So I want you to repeat this to yourself right now. I don't need to be perfect, I just need to be brave. Say it again. I don't need to be perfect, I just need to be brave. That's the mindset that will take you far. Now let's make it practical. Every day, try to have a short English moment, a real one. It can be talking to yourself in English for 1 minute, or sending a short English message to a friend, or even writing a short comment in English online. These tiny moments create momentum. Think of it like drops of water filling a glass. Each drop feels small, but soon the glass is full. That's how fluency works, not from one big effort, but from many small ones repeated daily. I want you to try something with me. Imagine it's the end of your day. You're sitting quietly, maybe with a cup of tea. I ask you, how was your day? Now answer me in English. You can start simply, it was good. But don't stop there. Add a reason, it was good because I finished my work early. Then add a feeling, it felt nice to relax for a bit. Look how that turned into a small story. That's how you turn simple English into real conversation, by adding reasons and feelings. When you build English this way, it becomes a part of you. You stop studying and start living it. You can even make it playful. Try talking to your pet in English, or describe your dinner out loud. Say, this soup is delicious, or this movie is funny. It sounds simple, but it trains your brain to respond in English instantly. You don't even need another person. You can practice anywhere, anytime. Another way to grow faster is to shadow natural conversations. Find a short video where people speak naturally. Listen once, then repeat exactly what they say, their tone, their pauses, their speed. Don't worry if you can't get every word perfect. The goal is to match the feeling. When you shadow, you train your pronunciation, rhythm, and even your listening skills all at once. You'll start noticing how your mouth and tongue move differently for English sounds. That's real progress. Let's do a quick example together. Repeat after me slowly. Hey, are you free this weekend? Yeah, maybe. What's up? I was thinking of going to the park. Sounds great. Let's do it. Good. These short dialogues teach you how people actually talk. Casual, friendly, natural. You can even record yourself saying them and listen back. You'll start noticing small improvements each time. Now, about vocabulary, I want you to stop collecting words like a dictionary. Instead, collect words like memories. What do I mean by that? When you hear a word, connect it to a picture, a sound, or a feeling. For example, the word cozy. Don't just think comfortable. Imagine sitting on your couch on a cold night with a blanket and a cup of tea. That's cozy. When you link words to emotions, they stick forever. The more personal your connection, the easier the word stays in your mind. Another thing that helps is to group words by topic, not alphabet. For example, if you're learning food, collect everything around it: delicious, hungry, taste, cook, serve, menu. Then make sentences. This meal looks delicious. I'm so hungry. Let's check the menu. The more you use them in context, the faster you remember them. You can even talk to yourself about your meals in English. It may sound funny, but it works. Now let's talk about pronunciation. You don't need a native accent to sound good. You just need clarity. The goal is not to sound American or British, it's to sound understandable. Focus on clear sounds, not fancy ones. A simple trick: slow down slightly when you speak. Many learners rush because they think fast English means fluent English, but fluency is not speed, it's flow. You can speak slowly and still sound fluent if your rhythm is natural, so take your time, breathe between phrases, and let your words come out smoothly. Here's a mini rhythm practice. Repeat this line with me: I'm learning English every day. I'm getting better and better. I feel more confident now. English is becoming easier for me. Good! That rhythm, that flow, is what makes your English sound alive. It's like music. Each phrase has a beat. When you feel that beat, your speaking becomes effortless. You might be wondering, how do I stay motivated? Motivation isn't about feeling excited every day. It's about building habits that carry you forward even when you don't feel like studying. The trick is to make English part of things you already enjoy. Love music? Listen to English songs and read the lyrics. Love movies? Watch them with English subtitles first, then try without. Love cooking? Follow a recipe in English. When you combine English with something you love, it stops feeling like work. Here's something many learners forget. Celebrate small wins. Did you understand a line from a movie today? Celebrate it. Did you use a new phrase in a message? Celebrate it. Each small victory keeps you going. You're building a skill that opens the world to you, and every step counts. You don't need to compare yourself with others. Your journey is your own. And here's a secret: even native speakers keep learning new words every day. English is always growing, so you're never behind. You're just walking your own path, and that's perfectly fine. Be proud of where you are now. You've already done something brave. You've started. Most people never do. So give yourself credit for that. If you've been listening this far, I want you to know you're not just learning English, you're training your mind to be more flexible, more curious, more connected to the world. You're becoming someone who can listen to others, express ideas clearly, and understand different cultures. That's not small, that's life-changing. So keep going, even on days when it feels slow. Remember, English isn't a goal you finish, it's a skill you keep polishing. The more you use it, the more it shines, and I'll be right here with you every step of the way, helping you make it smoother, clearer, and more natural. Now that you understand how much attitude matters in learning English, let's talk about something even more practical: how to create your personal English environment. Because most of you don't live in an English-speaking country, right? So the question is, how do you bring English into your daily world? The answer is, you build it around you. You can make your home, your phone, and your mind your English classroom. Start with small things. Change your phone's language to English. It might feel strange for a few days, but it's a simple way to expose yourself to real, everyday English. Every time you unlock your phone, you'll see English words, settings, notifications, messages, and your brain will start connecting naturally. It's like living in a small English bubble without leaving your country. That's powerful. Next, surround yourself with English sounds. Listen to English podcasts while cooking. Play English music when cleaning your room. Watch short English videos when you have a few minutes. You don't need to understand every word. Just let your ears get used to the rhythm, tone, and flow. Over time, you'll start understanding phrases automatically without translation. That's when you know your listening brain is growing. And of course, speak out loud whenever you can. Talking to yourself isn't strange. It's smart. Say your plans out loud. I'm going to take a shower. I'll make some tea. I need to finish this task. This keeps your tongue flexible. Remember, Language is physical. Your mouth and muscles have to practice too. You can't learn to swim by reading about swimming. You have to move. English works the same way. Another great idea is to keep an English notebook, but make it personal. Don't just write new words. Write them in sentences about your life. For example, instead of writing excited equal to happy, write, I'm excited to meet my friend tomorrow. Every time you write about yourself, your memory strengthens. That's because your brain loves personal stories. They stick. And let's talk about reading. Reading in English can feel hard at first, but if you choose the right material, it becomes enjoyable. Don't start with Shakespeare. Start with short articles, social media posts, or easy English news. When you read something that interests you, even a short story or a blog, you'll notice new expressions in context. Highlight phrases that sound natural, read them out loud, try to use them later. That's how reading turns into speaking practice. Here's another helpful trick: subtitles. When you watch English videos, start with English subtitles. Read and listen at the same time. Then, watch again without them. This builds strong listening comprehension. But don't depend on subtitles forever. They're like training wheels on a bicycle. They help at first, but you have to remove them to ride freely. Let's pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. You're doing great. Remember, it's not about speed, it's about connection. Every small step you take builds confidence. Even listening to me right now, this counts as practice. Your ears are training, your brain is listening, and your mind is learning how real English feels. Now let's talk about common problems that stop learners from improving. The first one is perfection paralysis. This is when you want to say something, but you stop yourself because you think it's not perfect. Let me tell you something. Perfection is the enemy of fluency. If you wait to be perfect, you'll never speak. Fluency grows from imperfection. You learn by speaking wrong first, then correcting yourself. So next time you make a mistake, smile. Say to yourself, that's one mistake closer to fluency. Another problem is overstudying. Some learners read grammar books for hours but never talk. They understand the rules, but when they need to speak, their mind freezes. Why? Because English isn't knowledge, it's a habit. You can't think your way into fluency, you have to act your way into it. Speaking and listening are active, so spend less time memorizing and more time practicing. Even 10 minutes of real speaking beats 1 hour of silent study. A third problem is comparison. Maybe you see someone online speaking fluently and you think, I'll never sound like that. But remember, you're comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. You don't see their journey, the hours they spent practicing, the mistakes they made. Everyone's timeline is different. Focus on your progress, not someone else's highlight reel. Even if you improve 1% today, that's progress. So how do you stay consistent? Create simple, repeatable habits. For example, every morning, listen to 5 minutes of English audio. Every evening, say 3 sentences out loud about your day. These are tiny habits, but they add up. The key is consistency over intensity. Imagine brushing your teeth. You do it every day, not once a week for an hour. Do the same with English. Make it daily hygiene for your mind. Let's try another mini practice together. I'll give you a few short sentences. You repeat them slowly with feeling. Ready? I can learn English. I'm improving every day. Mistakes help me grow. I'm becoming more confident. English is part of my life. Good. Those aren't just sentences. They're affirmations. When you say them, you train both your language and your mindset. Confidence grows when your brain believes what you say. Speaking of confidence, Many learners say, "I understand English, but I can't speak." That's because passive knowledge doesn't automatically become active. You must activate it. When you listen to new words, don't just understand them, use them, say them, write them, teach them. Teaching is one of the fastest ways to learn. Explain a phrase to yourself as if you were teaching a friend. For example, take the phrase, "It's up to you." Say, that means the decision is yours. Then use it in a sentence, "It's up to you whether we go or not." This solidifies your learning. Another way to grow faster is to shadow real situations. Imagine you're at a restaurant. Practice saying, "Can I see the menu, please? Could I get some water? The food looks great." Visualize the scene and speak as if you're really there. Visualization connects memory and emotion. When you imagine and speak together, your brain remembers longer. Now, let's talk about thinking in English a bit more deeply. At first, it feels impossible. Your native language keeps interrupting. But it gets easier if you start small. Try replacing one thought each day with an English one. For example, instead of thinking, "What should I eat?" in your language, think, "What should I eat?" in English. Gradually, more thoughts will switch automatically. You'll notice English becoming your second mental voice. That's a powerful moment, the moment you start living in English mentally. Here's something else I want you to remember. Never underestimate slow learning. Slow learning is deep learning. When you rush, you forget quickly. But when you take your time, you build strong memory connections. So be patient with yourself. Fluency is like growing a tree. It doesn't happen in one season. But if you keep watering it, it will shade your whole future. Now let's talk about how to practice when you feel bored. Sometimes repeating phrases can feel dull. When that happens, bring creativity. Make your practice emotional, funny, or even dramatic. If you're practicing "I don't believe it," say it in 5 different moods: surprised, angry, excited, bored, and sarcastic. "I don't believe it! I don't believe it! I don't believe it! I don't believe it!" Suddenly, one line becomes 5 new experiences. That's how actors practice, and it works beautifully for language learners too. You can also make games for yourself. Pick 5 random words and try to make a small story using all of them. For example, coffee, rain, friend, message, smile. "I was drinking coffee while it rained outside. My friend sent me a message and it made me smile." It's short, but it's fun. And it's real English practice. Another idea is to connect your learning with your emotions. If you're happy, learn happy expressions like, "That's awesome," or "I'm so proud of you." If you're sad, learn comforting ones like "It's okay" or "Things will get better." Language becomes powerful when it matches your mood. You'll use those phrases naturally when the time comes. And if you ever feel tired or frustrated, remember, every learner feels that way, even me when I was learning another language. There will be days when English feels easy and days when it feels hard, but the secret is, keep showing up. Even 5 minutes counts. Every time you show up, your future self thanks you. You're building something bigger than just English skills. You're building confidence, patience, and connection. You're training your mind to listen, your voice to express, and your heart to connect with the world in another language. That's something to be proud of. Take a deep breath. You're doing beautifully. Let's keep going, because in the next part, we'll explore how to bring all these techniques together into a daily routine. One that fits your life and makes English progress feel natural and exciting every single day. All right, let's talk about your daily English routine, because this is where everything starts to connect. Listening, speaking, reading, and thinking all coming together in a way that feels natural. You don't need a complicated plan. You just need small, repeatable actions that become part of your life. So let's build a simple structure that you can actually enjoy doing every day. Not something that feels like homework, but something that fits naturally into your routine. Morning is a great time to set the tone for your English practice. When you wake up, your mind is fresh and calm. Before checking your messages or social media, listen to 5 minutes of English, maybe a short podcast, or one of our lessons here on Talk English Now. Just 5 minutes. You don't need to understand everything, just let your ears wake up with English. You're training your brain to start the day in English mode. Then, as you get ready, try describing what you're doing. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making breakfast. I'm getting dressed. Say these simple sentences out loud. It may sound silly, but it's powerful. You're connecting English to real actions. The more you connect language to life, the faster it sticks. You're building automatic recall. That's when English starts coming out naturally without thinking too much. During the day, find small windows to add English moments. Maybe you're on the bus, or waiting in line, or cooking dinner. Use that time to shadow short sentences you've learned. Whisper them to yourself. Or imagine small conversations. How are you? I'm good, thanks. What did you do today? I went shopping. These little imaginary dialogues help your brain stay active and flexible. It's like mental exercise, quiet but effective. Now let's talk about listening, because listening feeds everything else. Try listening to something in English every day, even if it's short. It could be a YouTube clip, a voice note, a piece of a movie, but here's the key. Don't. Just play it once. Listen multiple times. The first time, just relax. The second time, focus on meaning. The third time, repeat out loud. Each time, you'll notice new things. How words connect, how voices rise and fall, how emotion changes the tone. This is how your ear learns naturally. When you listen, don't stress about catching every single word. Focus on understanding the feeling. For example, if someone says, "I can't believe this weather," even if you miss one word, you can feel what they mean. That's communication. Understanding the feeling behind the words is often more important than understanding every sound. Real communication is emotional, not mathematical. Now, let's add some reading. Reading in English builds vocabulary and rhythm. But don't choose something too difficult. You'll just feel frustrated. Pick something short and enjoyable, simple stories, news in easy English, or even social media posts written by native speakers. Read out loud when you can. It helps your tongue learn pronunciation and rhythm at the same time. You can even read this script out loud with me. That's a fantastic shadowing practice. Next comes speaking, the most important and the most intimidating part for many learners. The truth is, speaking alone is not weird at all. It's one of the smartest techniques. When you speak out loud, even if no one's listening, you're training your mouth and brain to work together. Think of yourself as your own practice partner. You don't need anyone else to start speaking English. You can begin right now where you are. Let's do a small speaking exercise together. I'll say a sentence and you repeat after me slowly. I'm improving every day. I'm learning naturally. I can express myself in English. English is becoming part of my life. I enjoy learning. Beautiful. When you speak like this, your brain hears your own voice in English. That's incredibly powerful. It builds both memory and confidence at the same time. Now let's talk about journaling, but not the boring kind. I call it talk writing. Each evening, write just 3 short sentences about your day, but write them as if you're talking to a friend. For example, today was nice. I met my friend at the park. We had a great time. That's enough. If you can, say it out loud after you write it. Over time, your written English and spoken English will grow together. Writing helps you slow down and notice patterns you didn't realize before. And of course, motivation. Motivation isn't something that magically appears every day. It's something you build through routine. There will be days when you don't feel like learning, and that's okay. The secret is to show up anyway, even if just for 5 minutes. Once you start, it's easier to continue. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel motivated, you do something small, and the energy follows. If you're enjoying this lesson, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more daily English practice. Your support helps us keep making these free lessons for learners all around the world, and it means a lot. All right, let's keep going. Now, I want you to visualize your English journey like a road. At the beginning, it feels long and unclear. You don't know where it leads, and you might feel slow. But every step, every new word, every short conversation takes you further. One day, you'll look back and realize you've come a long way. That's why you must keep walking. Don't look for shortcuts. The journey itself teaches you what no book can. Also, be mindful of what you consume. The kind of English you listen to shapes the kind of English you speak. If you listen to natural, kind, conversational English, that's what you'll produce. If you only study grammar from a textbook, your speech might sound stiff. So feed your brain real English. Listen to friendly conversations, interviews, and everyday chats. The more natural your input, the more natural your output. Let's do another small shadowing practice. Repeat after me with a calm tone. Hey, how's your day going? Pretty good, thanks for asking. What are you up to? Just finishing some work. Sounds nice. Good. That's real-life English. These are phrases people use every single day. When you master these small, natural exchanges, conversations stop feeling scary. They start feeling like music you already know. Sometimes learners say, "I keep forgetting words." That's normal. Forgetting is part of remembering. Your brain needs repetition, but it also needs time to rest. So don't panic when you forget. Just meet that word again. Every time you see it, your memory grows stronger. Think of each encounter as watering a seed. It doesn't bloom on the first day, but with enough water, it grows beautifully. Another challenge many people face is translating while speaking. If you find yourself doing this, don't worry, it's part of the process. Just start training yourself to think in English phrases instead of single words. For example, instead of thinking I am hungry, think I'm hungry as one sound. Instead of how are you, think how are you as one musical phrase. This helps your mind process English naturally, like a melody instead of a math problem. You can also practice reaction speed. When you hear a question, don't think too long. Just answer with whatever comes first. What's your favorite food? Pizza. Where do you live? In Lahore. Do you like traveling? Yes, I love it. Even if it's short, answer instantly. Quick responses train fluency. Later, you can expand your answers, but the key is to start fast and natural. Now, I want to share something very important. Rest. Rest is part of learning. When your brain rests, it organizes everything you learned that day. Sleep helps your memory grow stronger, so if you ever feel tired, take a break, go for a walk, listen to music, come back refreshed. Learning English isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. You need energy to enjoy the journey. Remember this, small daily actions always win. One sentence spoken today is better than 100 words remembered tomorrow. Keep your focus small and your heart big. You're not just studying English, you're building a skill that will stay with you for life. And it doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you don't stop. So keep your mornings light with listening, your afternoons filled with small speaking moments, and your evenings calm with journaling or reading. That's enough. That's a perfect routine. You don't need a teacher every minute, because you're learning how to teach yourself. That's real. Independence. That's real fluency. Take a deep breath. You're doing amazing. You've already learned so much today, and we're not done yet. In the next part, we'll talk about how to stay confident when you speak, how to deal with nerves, shyness, and those moments when words just disappear. You'll learn how to stay calm, natural, and fluent, even under pressure. Let's keep going together. Now let's talk about something that every learner struggles with: confidence. You know that moment when you understand everything in your head, but the second you have to speak, your mind suddenly goes blank? You freeze, your heart races, and your words disappear. It's not because you don't know English, it's because you don't feel safe using it yet. Confidence isn't about knowing every word, it's about trusting yourself to communicate with what you already have. So today, let's work on that trust. First, remember this truth. Nobody expects your English to be perfect. People just want to understand you. Even native speakers make mistakes all the time. They pause, forget words, or change their sentences halfway through. So why should you be afraid to do the same? Fluency isn't about never making mistakes. It's about keeping the conversation going even when you do. If you can relax and keep talking, you're already fluent in the most important way. Here's a small exercise to build confidence. Think of a situation that makes you nervous. Maybe ordering food, making a phone call, or introducing yourself to someone new. Now imagine it happening, but instead of worrying, imagine yourself smiling, speaking calmly, and feeling proud. Visualization is powerful. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real experience and a clearly imagined one. So, when you visualize success, you prepare your mind to act confidently in real life. Another way to build confidence is to prepare short responses you can always use. For example, if you don't understand something, you can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" Or "I didn't catch that." If you forget a word, say, "What's the word for?" Or, "Let me think for a second." These small phrases give you time to breathe and stay calm. Remember, confidence isn't about speaking fast, it's about staying comfortable. When you feel shy, remind yourself English is just a tool. It's not a test. You're using it to share ideas, not to impress anyone. When you focus on connection instead of perfection, everything changes. People respond to your kindness, not your grammar. So look at the other person's face, smile, and listen. Listening shows confidence too. You don't have to speak all the time to be a good communicator. Being present is enough. Here's something many learners forget. Confidence grows when you celebrate small wins. Did you say something in English today? That's a win. Did you understand a video without subtitles? Another win. Did you ask for help in English and manage to express yourself? That's huge. Celebrate it, write it down. Tell yourself, "I did that." These little victories build the foundation of your self-belief. And you know what helps even more? Laugh at your mistakes. Really laugh. When something goes wrong, smile and move on. I once had a student who said "I'm boring" instead of "I'm bored." Everyone laughed, including her, And you know what? She never made that mistake again. Mistakes teach faster when they make you smile, not panic. English is a living, funny, beautiful language. It's okay to play with it. Let's practice a confidence exercise together. Repeat these lines slowly after me. I can speak English. I have something to say. My voice matters. It's okay to make mistakes. Every time I speak, I improve. Beautiful. Feel how good that sounds? When you repeat positive words, your body relaxes. You start believing them, little by little. Confidence starts in your mind before it reaches your mouth. Another thing that helps a lot is slowing down. When you speak too fast, you don't give your brain time to form sentences. Take your time. Breathe between ideas. Speaking slower actually makes you sound more confident and clear. Think of it like music. Pauses give rhythm. So don't rush your sentences. Let them flow. If you ever forget a word, don't stop completely. Try describing it in another way. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, say, the thing we use when it rains. The listener will understand. That's called paraphrasing, and it's a skill even native speakers use daily. You don't need the perfect word. You just need to keep communicating. Every time you do that, you train your brain to stay calm under pressure. Also, practice speaking when you're alone, not only when others are listening. This builds what I call quiet confidence. Talk to yourself while walking, cooking, or driving. Say things like, "That's interesting," or "I think I'll go for a walk." The more you use English when no one's watching, the easier it becomes when someone is. You'll start to realize that your voice sounds better than you thought. Here's a simple trick for confidence. Posture. Sit or stand tall when you speak. It may sound funny, but your body affects your voice. When you stand tall, you breathe better, and your tone becomes stronger. Confidence is physical as well as mental, so straighten your back, look forward, and speak with energy. You're not just learning English, you're expressing who you are. Now let's talk about nerves. When you feel anxious before speaking, try this. Take a deep breath through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Do this 2 or 3 times. It relaxes your body and clears your mind. Then smile and start. You'll be amazed at how much calmer you feel. Also, don't forget that silence is part of speaking. You don't need to fill every second with words. It's okay to pause, think, and continue. Silence shows confidence too. It tells people you're thoughtful. You're allowed to take your time. Let's try a short self-conversation practice. I'll guide you. Imagine I'm asking, "So, how's your day been?" You answer, "Pretty good, thanks. I had a lot of work, but I managed to finish most of it." Then I say, "That's great. What are you doing later?" You answer, "I'll probably watch something or just relax." See? Simple, natural, and calm. You don't need fancy words, you just need flow. Another great confidence builder is to record yourself speaking English. I know it feels awkward at first, but it's one of the best ways to improve. Record a short message, maybe 30 seconds, about any topic. Listen to it after a day. You'll notice things you didn't hear while speaking. Maybe your pronunciation improved. Maybe your rhythm feels smoother. Every recording is a snapshot of your progress. Over time, you'll hear how far you've come. And remember, your accent is beautiful. It's part of your identity. Don't try to erase it. Just make your pronunciation clear. English belongs to everyone, not just native speakers. Your accent tells your story. So, speak proudly. The goal isn't to sound like someone else. It's to sound like the best version of you in English. When you focus on clarity instead of perfection, everything becomes easier. People will understand you, and you'll feel relaxed. And when you feel relaxed, you speak even better. It's a wonderful circle. Confidence creates fluency, and fluency builds more confidence. You can also practice with mirror speaking. Stand in front of a mirror and talk for 1 minute. Watch your face, your expressions, your smile. It may feel strange at first, but it's powerful. You'll notice how your mouth moves, how your eyes show emotion, and how your face changes with different words. This helps you sound and look more natural. Let's try another confidence phrase practice. Repeat with me. I'm not afraid to speak English. I can learn from my mistakes. I sound better than I think. I'm proud of my progress. My English improves every day. Excellent. These aren't just words. They're reminders of your strength. Confidence doesn't come from others telling you you're good. It comes from you realizing you're improving. At the end of the day, remember this. Every English speaker you admire once felt nervous too. They struggled, forgot words, and doubted themselves. But they kept going. And that's exactly what you're doing now. Every time you show up, listen, repeat, and speak, you're becoming more fluent, more confident, more natural. So the next time you talk to someone in English, take a breath, smile, and speak from the heart. Forget about perfection, just connect. Communication isn't about grammar, it's about energy. People feel your warmth before they notice your mistakes, and that's what makes your English real. You're doing wonderfully, and we're getting close to the end of our lesson. In the final part, I'll help you bring everything together, your routine, confidence, practice, and mindset, into one beautiful way of living and growing with English. Stay with me until the end. You've done amazing so far. You've listened, repeated, imagined, and practiced. You've learned not just English words, but how to think and feel in English. Now let's bring everything together. Because learning everyday English isn't about one single method. It's about a way of living, a mindset of growth. It's about letting English slowly become a part of who you are. So let's talk about how to keep it alive. Not just today, but every day from now on. The first thing to remember is that learning never really ends. And that's the beauty of it. There's always another word, another phrase, another person to talk to, but that doesn't mean you have to rush. Think of English like a river. You don't try to control it. You just flow with it. Some days the current is strong, some days it's quiet, but you're always moving forward. Every time you listen, read, or speak, you're flowing deeper into understanding. Make English part of your identity. When you introduce yourself to someone new, imagine the version of you that speaks freely, calmly, confidently in English. That version already exists. You're meeting them every time you practice. So start seeing English not as something you're trying to learn, but as a part of your daily personality. You're someone who thinks in 2 languages, who can express thoughts in more than one way. That's incredible. Few people ever do that. Now let's talk about habits again, but in a more emotional way. Every habit needs a reason behind it, a why. Why do you want to learn English? Maybe you want to travel, connect with people from other countries, or get a better job. Maybe you simply love the sound of it. Whatever your reason is, write it down. Read it every morning. Your why keeps you going when motivation fades. Because trust me, there will be quiet days. Days when your mind feels tired, when nothing sticks. But if you remember why you started, you'll keep moving gently forward. And don't forget to reward yourself. After a good study session, treat yourself. Have your favorite snack, listen to music, or take a walk. Your brain loves rewards. It tells your mind, this feels good, let's do it again. That's how habits stick. You don't need to push yourself with guilt or stress. You can lead yourself with kindness and joy. English grows faster in a happy mind than in a tired one. Let's add one last powerful practice: reflection. Every Sunday, take 5 minutes and ask yourself 3 questions. What did I learn this week? What did I struggle with? What did I enjoy the most? Write the answers down, even in short sentences. Reflection makes learning personal. You'll see patterns. Maybe you're great at listening but shy when speaking. Or maybe you love short phrases but struggle with long sentences. When you see your patterns, you can grow wisely. Now, imagine yourself a few months from now. You're listening to an English conversation and suddenly you understand almost everything. You respond naturally without thinking too much. You're smiling, relaxed, proud. That moment will come. It's already on its way. But the only way to reach it is one step at a time. One lesson, one phrase, one moment of courage at a time. Every single step matters. You might not notice your progress every day, but others will. Someone will say, "Your English sounds so good," and you'll realize all those small moments were worth it. You didn't just learn a language, you changed the way your brain connects with the world. You taught yourself patience, focus, and curiosity. That's something to be proud of. And please, keep English fun. Watch movies you love. Listen to songs that make you feel something. Read about topics that excite you. When English becomes part of what you enjoy, it never feels like work. It becomes a lifestyle. You'll catch yourself thinking in English without even trying, smiling when you understand something new, or feeling joy when you express an idea clearly. That's fluency, not perfection, but comfort. You can also teach others. When you explain something you've learned to someone else, your understanding doubles. It could be a friend, a sibling, or even yourself in front of a mirror. Teaching is learning twice. So don't keep your English journey to yourself. Share it. The more you share, the more confident you become. Now, before we finish, let's do one last slow, gentle shadowing practice together. Breathe in deeply, relax your shoulders, and repeat after me. I am learning every day. I am proud of my progress. My English sounds more natural every week. I am confident when I speak. I love learning this language. English is part of my life. Beautiful. Let those words stay with you. They're not just sentences. They're affirmations of your growth. And here's something I want you to remember forever. Your journey with English doesn't have to be lonely. We're learning together. Every time you listen to me, every time you speak out loud, you're part of a global community of learners. People just like you from all over the world, trying, practicing, growing. You're never alone in this. We're walking the same path step by step. If you ever feel stuck or discouraged, come back to this channel. Listen to another lesson. Let my voice remind you that it's okay to start again. Learning isn't a straight line, it's a dance. Sometimes forward, sometimes sideways, but always moving. So whenever you fall, stand up gently and keep going. Every time you do, you become stronger. Now let's talk about one final mindset shift from I'm learning English to I use English. That's a big difference. Learning sounds like something unfinished, something that's always far away. Using sounds real, present, alive. You already use English. You listen, understand, and think in it. So start saying, I use English every day. That one sentence changes everything. It tells your brain, I already belong here. You're doing something truly beautiful, building bridges with your words. With every new phrase, you're opening a door to connection. You'll make friends, share stories, and understand people who were once strangers. Language connects hearts, and English is one of the most powerful bridges in the world. You're building that bridge right now, one word at a time. Take a moment to think about how far you've come. From the first time you said hello in English to now, where you can understand and express your thoughts more freely. That's real growth. You did that. You've shown patience, effort, and heart, and I'm proud of you for it. Now, before we end, I want to leave you with a message. Don't chase perfection, chase connection. The best English speakers aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who make others feel understood. So speak with warmth, listen with curiosity, and let your words carry kindness. That's the most authentic English you can ever learn. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I know learning English can sometimes feel overwhelming, but remember, you're doing it. You're learning, growing, and improving one sentence at a time. Be patient with yourself, trust the process, and keep showing up. You are becoming fluent, not someday, but right now. This is Sarah from Talk English Now, and I'm so proud of you. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep believing in yourself, because fluency isn't a dream. It's your daily reality in progress. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss future lessons. Take care, my friend, and I'll see you in the next one.